Winter warmers, lamb shanks, the quintessential winter recipe. Now I've done lamb shanks this way since I very first started chefing. A couple of little tweaks along the way. So basically just your same mirepoix that you always use when you're braising. Onion, carrot, celery, leek. I've got some tomato paste in the bowl here, about 2 tablespoons. I've got some seeded mustard and some red wine. I'm going to make a little paste out of that. Start out by prepping your veggies. We're just going to cut these roughly. We're not going to use them again, or at least in a fashion where the shape of them matters. All right, so I've got a nice bed of vegetables there that's going to lift the shanks up off the base of the cooking container so they're not going to stick, and they're going to cook nice and evenly. All right, you see these shanks I've got from Super Butcher, the hindquarters. So I'm just going to I'm running my knife around the top here, so any of the tendons that are still attached are going to release. So when the meat drops, it'll slide down the bone and be a nice little morsel at the bottom there. Sort of like Frenching, but not the technique. Now I'm going to make the paste, or the rub. I've just got some Bavarian mustard here. It's just a seeded mustard. Put 2 teaspoons in with that. And just a little bit of wine, red wine, to loosen it up. We're going to add some to the stock as well. But this is just going to make it easier to paste onto your shanks. It's going to permeate the meat, give a nice flavour. So we'll just add our stock. That's just a veggie stock. I'm going to say half a cup of red wine. All right, and then we're just going to rub these bad boys and just lay them gently in that stock. It will wash off a little bit, but you got that instant contact of all that nice, rich flavour right on the meat. Any left over, I'm just going to scoop on top. I'm not happy with the amount of stock I've got there. I'm just going to add enough stock to half cover them. The liquid's now halfway up the shanks. I'm just going to add a bit of salt and pepper. Cracked pepper and red wine is like one of the best combinations. So I tend to use it a lot when I'm using red wine sauces. Now baking paper first. So anytime you're braising, you're going to get some degradation of the aluminium foil, and you don't want that to flake off onto your meat. And then a nice seal, and then in the oven, 180 degrees. So it's going to take about 2.5 hours. You can open it up and test it. You want it to be around about the 95, 96 degree internal temperature, and that should be ready to go. All right, let's put it in. So the lamb shanks are pretty much ready. So I'm just going to punch out a quick polenta. So I've just got about 600 mils of milk in here, 1 onion in half, 2 bay leaves, 5 peppercorns. This is like a simple milk infusion. Whenever I'm cooking with milk, even if I make a white sauce for mac and cheese, I always do a milk infusion. You want it to tick over for about 5 minutes, then you can take those bulky items out. Got about a teaspoon of salt in there. And as soon as that milk has sucked up that flavour, you're going to get all that dimension through your polenta. You don't want it to reduce at all because you want that ratio to stay the same. If you lose too much moisture when you make your polenta, it'll be too dry. It's not the end of the earth, just add a little bit more milk. All right, so I've just taken out the onion and the bay leaves. You can leave the black peppercorns in there if you want, if you can't reach them out, or you can strain it and put it back in the pot. But at this stage, I'm going to add the polenta now. Now it's going to seem like there's not enough in there for quite a while. It'll take the polenta a little bit to absorb it up, and you're going to want to add some more. Just let it tick out and trust that ratio. It'll come up nice and creamy. All right guys, that's pretty much ready now. Just going to punch some cheese into it. We'll put about 1/4 cup. Oh, beautiful. You can see it's gone to that nice, almost mashed potato consistency. Beautiful. All right, so these shanks have been going for about 2.5 hours. I just tested them with my thermometer at 98 degrees, so these should be falling off the bone. That cooking liquor has sort of washed off a lot of that, but there's a little bit of that rub bark that we spoke about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a nice bed of the polenta down. All right, and just those shanks right on top. I've got just a little bit of this red wine jus, just a little bit of red wine reduced down with some beef stock, some Cape Grim beef stock. Let's finish up with that. Nice rich flavour. Really tie all those flavours together. Right, there you have it. quintessential winter warmer, lamb shanks with polenta and jus.